Hi, I'm Heidi. Today I'm going to show you how to knit Quaker ridging. This swatch is really long, so you can see what 2 repeats of Quaker ridging look like in a piece done with it. It's just 5 rows of stockinette stitch alternating with 1 purl ridge and then 3 purl ridges. This would be a really great motif to make a scarf with, especially if you edged it with something like seed stitch or a basic rib. And it's just a really fun, relaxing thing to knit that's beginner friendly since it only uses knit and purl stitches. What we're looking at right here, guys, is something called Quaker ridging. It is a motif accomplished by just knitting and purling. So Quaker ridging is something that relative beginners to knitting can do. The key is to just keep track of if you're on your right side or the wrong side of your work and what row you're on in the pattern repeat. So as I go through this stitch, since it does have a 14 row repeat, just make sure to refer to the description of the video just for the stitches that I'm talking about throughout the video. With Quaker ridging, you can cast on any number of stitches to get the repeat you need to create the motif. So for demonstration's sake, I just cast on 4 stitches here. So we are going to work the first 5 rows of the Quaker ridging motif in stockinette stitch, which means you'll be knitting on the right side and purling on the wrong side for 5 rows. So rows 1, 3, and 5 will be knit across, and rows 2 and 4 will be purled. So row 1, we knit across. Row 2, we purl across. Row 3, knit. Row 4, purl. And row 5, knit. So I guess in this video we're basically making a scarf for a doll, but this will help you guys see how the Quaker ridging gets formed. So that's rows 1 through 5 worked, knit on the right side, purl on the wrong side. Looking at our swatch here, where I've done 2 full repeats of Quaker ridging, you can see that this is rows 1 through 5 worked, knit 1 on the right side and purl 1 on the wrong side. So now we're going to get to row 6, which is a wrong side row, but since we're going to purl it, we're going to get this ridge of purl bumps on the right side of our work. So again, that's row 6. We will knit on the wrong side. And as I mentioned, that row of knitting on the wrong side results in this row of purl bumps on the right side, just like in the swatch. Now, for rows 7, 9, and 11, we're going to knit, and for rows 8 and 10, we're going to purl. So that will be another 5 rows of stockinette stitch, just like the first 5. So row 7, knit. Row 8, purl. Row 9, knit. Purl. and 11 knit. So far this has been pretty easy. Like I said, this entire Quaker ridging pattern is just knitting and purling, so relative beginners can do this super easily. Now, if we look at our swatch, we've worked 5 rows of stockinette, 1 purl ridge accomplished by knitting on the wrong side, and 5 more rows of stockinette. So now we're here where we've got 3 rows of purl ridges in a row. And so to do that, we're going to knit once on the wrong side, purl once on the right side, and knit once on the wrong side. So row 12, we're on the wrong side, and we're going to knit to form the first purl ridge. Row 13, on the right side, we're purling, so we can get a second purl ridge on the right side. And then row 14, which also happens to be the last row of the Quaker ridging motif, we're going to knit, forming that third purl ridge on the right side. All right, so looking at our chunky doll scarf here, you can see that we did 5 rows of stockinette, 1 purl ridge, 5 more of stockinette, and 3 purl ridges. So the reason I did this big old swatch is to show you how the repeat looks. This is 2 repeats of the 14-row Quaker ridging. And so rows 1 through 14 here show the 14 rows I just demonstrated, and then row 15 through 28 here is a second repeat of that. So this is just a nice textural element you can incorporate to make your stockinette curl a little less, for one thing, because stockinette stitch tends to curl up. And it also adds some really good texture, and I think this could make a really great scarf or cowl if you did it vertical, or any number of other things. So that's Quaker ridging. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial for how to knit Quaker ridging. Give us a like above or a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more knitting video tutorials.